Okay, so look at this. Yes, these exist in Windsor. They're called fish flies. I've mentioned them before, but I have a few more things to tell you about these things just so you can properly prepare yourself. Also, we're going to talk about some of the best schools in Windsor, some of the best places to live, and some of the worst places to live. This is 10 things you should know before moving to Windsor, Ontario. Number 1, Windsor has great food. Yes, it's true. There's actually really good food in this city, and people from like Toronto always scoff at that. They're always like, Windsor? I'm from the metropolis of Toronto. We have great... No, listen, ask anyone who's been here. The grub is good, my friend. And I think part of the reason is multiculturalism. Starting in like the 60s, we had a whole ton of Italian and Greek immigration. And so now you have like award-winning pizza that is made in this city. Great, fancy date night Italian restaurants like Il Gabbiano and Nico's and Spago's and a whole bunch of other ones I can't even think of right now. This is not a city where you go eat at a chain restaurant, okay? Don't go there. Go to the local places. Sandwich Town is ghetto. It is ghetto. There are sections of Sandwich Town that typically don't advise people to invest or buy a home in. You see this right here? This is the Ambassador Bridge. West of this bridge in this area is considered some of the rougher parts of the city. In fact, if you just do some Googling, you'll find that the highest crime in the city is in this area, often violent crime. Now, if you're not like dealing drugs or doing anything shady, you probably don't really need to worry about violent crime, but there still might be car break-ins and stuff like that. It's just not a great part of the city. There's also boarded up buildings in this part of town, a lot. Which, and of course, the boarded up buildings then have rats in them and stuff. So if you live nearby, now you got to buy rat traps. It's just not a great place to live. By the way, I'm a real estate appraiser and real estate agent, so I see this section of the city a lot, as well as the nice areas of the city. If you need help trying to figure out where you want to live or move to, you're looking to buy or sell in the Windsor area, that's my phone number on the screen. People call me from YouTube all the time. Feel free to do that. We will talk about fish flies on the way. First, though, South Detroit. Yeah, a lot of people in Windsor jokingly refer to this area as South Detroit. And the reason is because if you look at a map, we are literally south of Detroit. So everyone in this area, of course, they're Lions fans, they're Tigers fans, they're Red Wings fans, they're Pistons fans, okay? This is a Detroit-centered city. People often cross the border for shopping or for just a night out on the town or for concerts. Fair warning, though, it's now $10 to cross the bridge, so it's like $20 total just to go to the States for a day. So it's getting pricey with the toll. But still, if you want a night out, Detroit's a great place to go. The absolute best areas of Windsor, I'm going to talk about on the way. First, though, let's get to those fish flies. A ton of people call me and they ask about the fish flies because I mentioned them in one other video. Listen, they are gross. This is what they look like, but it's not this bad most of the time. So depending on the year, it could be really bad or it could be pretty mild. This year was pretty mild. In terms of where to live, I live across, see this line right here? I live pretty much somewhere along this line. I rarely see them at my house. They're dumb little creatures and they don't fly all that far from the river, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Also, keep in mind, these things hatch out of shallow, still water. So the Detroit River itself over here, it's flowing too much to really have too many of them over in that part of town. It's over in Bell River where, Lake St. Clair has more shallow, calm shores that these things hatch out of. So Bell River is always the worst for the fish flies, and then it gets less and less as you head west. But I was out for a walk the other night closer to the river, and I took this video. This is how bad it can be at nighttime at a specific time of the day when they all swarm around the lights, okay? That is pretty gross. Around my house, I took this video. This is just one. This is like the only one I saw this whole year, and it landed on me, and I took this quick video, okay? It's really not that bad. Yes, they are disgusting, but like as most people that live in Tecumseh and Bell River will tell you, not a big deal. Oh, also, they only last for like 2 weeks out of the year. Keep that in mind, too. This isn't an all-year thing. It's like the second half of June. That's it. Some of the best parts of Windsor are the small towns. They're not even technically Windsor, although I am personally a fan of Windsor proper. Some of the best communities, like Kingsville over here on the shores of Lake Erie, is a beautiful little town that I really like. Amherstburg, kind of the same thing. Beautiful little waterfront town, a lot of history there. The War of 1812 broke out on the banks of Amherstburg. So there's history, there's historic parks and statues and museums. Really cool little town. Very quiet, too. You also have LaSalle, which is pretty much connected to Windsor and is considered one of the most luxurious places to live in our region. And of course, you have Lakeshore, which I mentioned earlier. This is where Bell River is as well. That's a nice area as well. And Essex. Listen, if you're a county type of person, you like the small town feel, Essex is a great spot as well, right in the center of the entire county. Don't be afraid on your home search to look outside of Windsor proper, because even in Essex, it's a 20-minute drive to get pretty much anywhere in the county. If you need help knowing which place is right for you, that's my phone number on the screen. People call me all the time looking for a place to buy or invest in our area. Feel free to reach out. Okay, so if you are moving here, you're going to want to know what school to put your kids in. Where are the best schools? So I'm basing this off what people in the city tell me, as well as the Fraser Institute rankings that you can find online. So if you look at the top ranking schools, okay, 4 out of the top 10 in our area are in South Windsor. This is where a lot of the great schools are located. So Bellwood Public Schools right here, it's got an 8.9 rating, which is fantastic. And then literally a 2-minute drive from that, you get to Southwood Public School, which is number 5 on the list with a ranking of 8.4. So South Windsor, almost no matter where you land, you're going to be in a great school. What's the absolute hands-down best school in terms of ratings? Well, it's Colchester North, way out in the middle of nowhere, right here. Actually, it's close to Essex. It's not quite the middle of nowhere, but these are the school boundaries. So it doesn't actually include the town of Essex. It's just all these little farms and stuff in the area. More info on the schools is in this video right here. Up next, Ford City is not up and coming. Yeah, this drives me insane. Other realtors will go on talking about, oh, I got a listing in the up-and-coming Ford City, invest now, blah, blah, blah. No, there's so much meth and drugs and even some prostitutes in that area that I've seen. It's not getting nicer, and the city's invested all this money to make it look nice. Like, they've put up murals, a community garden, some statues, and that's all well and good, but unless you get the drugs out of the area, it's still gonna be not so great. So just so you can visually see it, this is Ford City right here, this highlighted area. This is like right where like the first car factory ever in Canada was. So I mean, I guess that's cool, but it's just a rundown area with low property values, and things don't seem to be changing despite what some realtors want to tell you. Number 9, people in Windsor are just nicer. I don't know what it is, but people are very down to earth and kind in this city. Like, you're talking to somebody who's lived in lots of other places in Ontario, London, Kitchener, I've been to a lot. Obviously, I've been to the GTA a lot. I lived up north in like Timmins and Sudbury and all sorts of different areas. And I gotta tell you, there is a coldness to a lot of communities in Ontario, especially the closer that you get to Toronto. But you come down here, and people are just kind. In fact, this one guy, Tim, moved to Windsor because of these videos, and then he called me after. He told me, listen, I live right now in Remington Park, which, again, I mean, that's not like a super fancy area, but he's like, the people here are just so nice. All the neighbors, they want to come out and talk to you and just say hello, and they're always there for you if you need something. This really is just a great community to live. People are they're down to earth. They're cool people, man. I've mentioned this before. Our downtown kind of sucks. That's the number 10 for you. There's not a whole lot going on. Like, there is Caesars Windsor, so there's that. That's good. And there's a couple restaurants that are nice. But aside from that, like, people don't really go downtown too often for entertainment. The WFCU Center's in the suburbs. Like, the place where the Spitfires play hockey and you have some concerts and stuff, it's over here. It's not downtown. There is the downtown Mission, obviously downtown, so there is homeless people hanging around. There's some office, like there's a call center downtown, so office buildings and stuff like that, but it's just not thriving. It's not a thriving downtown, despite having that awesome boardwalk at the front. They just haven't, I don't know, I'm not a good city planner. Like, I don't know what you would do to change it. Maybe this is just what it's like living in a medium-sized city. Like, no, it's not Toronto. it's not a happening downtown. But I don't know, just something to keep in mind. Like, I don't go downtown all that often unless I just want to walk by the boardwalk. But anyway, those are the 10 things you should know before moving to the Windsor area. Again, if you need help with your move in terms of buying or selling a property, feel free to reach out to me. That's my phone number right there. Go binge watch some more videos on this channel. Thanks for hanging out.